everybody, this is that drummer guy, Josh Runquist, and I'm here with Andy from Black Red Initiate. You just got done doing a killer set here at the Amsterdam and St. Paul, Minnesota. How's it going?
It's going pretty good, man. Thank you for calling it killer. We're happy to be here. It's very cold, though.
Oh, yeah. See, I love it when it's spring, summer, and fall, but when it's winter here, it sucks.
Woo. Cold as hell.
I know.
Yep.
Nothing like it being 19 degrees and just nothing but pure wind outside.
All wind. All the wind you could want.
But first of all, I'm glad to see you guys were able to make it up here tonight. I know you guys had some issues yesterday.
Yeah, we bought a brand new van. Not brand new, but we bought a new van, which the Indiegogo campaign helped us to do. But now we have a very reliable vehicle. But in order to do so, we had to miss the Chicago show because we had to buy it in Cleveland. So that's what happened. But we have a killer van now for the first time ever.
Yeah, so I do remember drinking PBRs in the back of the old there for in the Flesh God tour.
Yep, that was a 2000 or 91.
91. Wow.
We're now in 2013, so we've managed to skip 2 decades.
When you guys are touring as much as you are, you gotta have something reliable like that. Let's get back into the positive notes here.
Let's get real.
Yeah.
Let's get real.
Let's talk a little beer. I noticed you guys hit up Surly's today.
Yeah, we were at Surly today. It was very cool. We went to Surly and probably got a little too loaded before we played, but you do that sometimes. But Surly's great beer and great people.
Absolutely.
They've grown a lot, which is good for them.
Yeah. And they're such huge supporters of metal, too.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yeah.
You go in there and they just play metal the whole time. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they occasionally put it on shows like every year. Like last year, Goat Horde did a nice set.
Yeah, our buddies in Rivers did a set there, too. Dying Fetus. No, maybe Exhumed, actually.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Yeah, that is so cool. And, of course, you guys are touring with some of the greatest bands in metal right now, like Napalm Death and Voivod, Exhumed, Iron Reagan. How did this come about?
We got offered the tour and would have been idiots to turn it down. That's pretty much how it came about, and we're really happy to be here. It's very surreal because Napalm Death obviously has a legacy that, as well as Voivod, that you really can't even put into words. But for me it's crazy because Dan Mulgrane, the guitar player for Voivod, who wasn't always, but he's a very fitting replacement for Piggy. He's an idol of mine, from his band Martyr.
Oh, yes.
And now I get to hang out with him and talk music every day, which for me is insane. The guy's like an encyclopedia. I get to pick his brain. Stuff like that is really invaluable. And like that's sort of for me has been the coolest part of being a touring musician is you get to grow. Because you get to just talk to people who are amazing at what they do. And you get to say, well, what are you doing here? What is this? You wouldn't get that if you were just a local musician that wasn't touring. No ill will towards local musicians. I'm not far removed from myself, but the fact is, it's just really fortunate. It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. There's almost no greater feeling when you're a touring musician to be able to tour with the ones that you grew up listening to.
It's insane. And what's even better is when you meet them and they're cool as hell. And they're just regular people. Because you put them on a pedestal, you're like, oh, for example, Dan Mulgrane, he could be an amazing person because he's so great. But he is. And then you talk to him. It's just a regular dude. Really cool. It's an influence for you because if you were ever to get to a point where you were larger than you are in popularity, you have to be cool because these dudes are cool.
Exactly. You got to remember where you came from growing up, and it's so
a big reminder.
you on here. Of course, you guys are here in support of your debut album, The Wreckage of Stars, which is easily not just one of my favorite albums last year, but one of my favorite debut albums ever.
Wow. Thank you.
No, it's just I love the diversity that comes with it. I love seeing the progression that you guys have made.
Thank you.
And it's just like an honor to be able to talk with you guys. Just like normal shit. It's just like it's great. So. And also back from if I remember right, that was the second interview that we did, or for you guys, it was the second interview during the Flesh Cuts.
It was quite vulgar. Let's tone it down a bit here, right?
Yeah. If I could have edited that, I would have. I had some mechanical problems, but this one's a little more PC.
This is PC.
But
this is for the children.
Yes. This one's for the children. Straight from my tie here. But I was very fortunate after that interview to be able to hear Linear. The cell phone version of it. I got to hear Linear, and it's just like I could not wait for the album to come out.
Well, thank you, man.
Yeah,
that song was like a big departure for us, and when I wrote that one. I didn't write all of them on the album, but when I wrote that one, it was kind of like, man, I don't know if we should do that. Then everybody was like, well, we should because it's good. And you just kind of take a chance, and that's sort of. Where you see where you can go, and I think the next album, as a result, will be but that's been the idea from the beginning, is to kind of push the envelope of what we can do, because we're not just an extreme metal band.
Yeah,
we like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my favorite parts about the album is just like the dynamics and the diversity to it. I mean, you can get like as heavy and extreme as you do, but then you have those acoustic passages, you have the clean vocal movements on there. It's just like, it's so cool hearing that.
You gotta think about life. Life is not one static thing all the time. It's not big and loud all the time, or extreme, or crazy, or violent. But it is sometimes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's quiet and beautiful and serene, and you're in love, or you're whatever, and you're having a quiet moment with your girlfriend or your pet or your significant other or whatever it is. And some moments you're fighting for your life. Some moments you're thinking about what evil exists in the world. Some moments you think about what good exists in the world. And I think your music should reflect that. And I've talked about that before.
Oh yeah.
But that's very true.
Yeah.
And we hope to do that for as long as we're around.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. I mean, I really think you guys have nailed it as far as like you guys are making the music that you actually want to make.
Oh yeah.
You're not being forced to make music you don't want to make. You guys are doing it right.
Well, I mean, any time where I would be making the music that I wouldn't want to make, I might as well go to the fucking factory.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be very good at that either. But I would, there's no point in doing things that you don't want to do.
Right.
Particularly when it comes to the things that you were put on this earth to do, which I think, for us, we're finding out that, like for me, if I'm home, I'm working in music retail, or I'm teaching guitar, or I'm playing guitar, like that's all I do. So when you find what you're good at, or what you're supposed, maybe not what you're good at, but what you're supposed to be here doing, you can't really stray. You don't have a choice.
That's right. See, I love that kind of positive outlook that you have. It's just so cool to see in musicians.
Well, I mean, you can't second guess that kind of stuff, because it's very clear in your mind's eye. Because from the time, for me, for example, when you're a little child, you see it in your head, like, this is what I want to do. My dad asked me when I was 9 years old, do you want a guitar? And I said, yeah. From that point on, it was like, well, I want to play guitar.
That's how it started with me, too. I started drums when I was 9, and I've been playing ever since.
You don't stop. You just... You gravitate towards something and you don't know why. It doesn't matter why, but you have, so you can't ignore it.
That's right.
Because ignoring it would be ignoring what you were put on the planet to do by whatever put you here. I don't know what that is. Could be nothing. Could be random circumstance. Could be God. Could be, I don't know. But you know, you can't ignore it.
Exactly.
So we don't ignore it.
Yeah. Oh, so cool. So what are you guys' plans after this tour?
We have some stuff in the works that we really can't talk about yet.
Okay.
But we will be on tour for pretty much the rest of the years. Hopefully, the rest of our fucking lives. You know, we'll be doing another album at the end of this year.
Oh, cool.
Putting it out probably in the beginning to middle of next year, and touring around that.
Oh, sweet. So has any ideas been like solidified for the next album yet?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, sweet.
We have some song structures. Rick, Nick, and I, between the three of us, excuse me, we're always writing. So we don't really run out of ideas. And the fact that we're so similar as writers, we're just kind of happy. We're just kind of happy on what we're doing, stoked on what we're doing. It's always ideas. So yes, we have.
Oh, very cool. So, I'm sure it's a little too early to say, but how would you compare the new riffs to the Wreckage of Stars?
That's really hard to say. I think if there's one thing that we might try to keep in mind is the dynamics of the EP. In that what we enjoyed about it was the fact that every song, even though it was one song out of, you know, one piece of 4 songs, every song had very, very was very mindful of dynamics. And I think on the full length we kind of strayed from that a little bit, which isn't a bad thing. But I think on the next album we'll probably try to keep those dynamics with every song.
Yeah, that's what I will say about the Wreckage of Stars. I mean, there is a lot of intense, heavy moments to it, but also at the same time, even though there might be minimal dynamics of it, like in acoustic or more mellow or something like that, but what I'm saying is that with those parts, it's just like they hit you that much harder because they're not as much there.
So you know, we're gonna experiment with dynamics, you know, because that's really what we kind of get off on.
Yeah.
It's that reflection of what life does to you to the point when you're born and you die.
So glad to see it. I'm so happy for you guys and all the success that you guys are
Thanks,
having.
brother.
I'm glad that I'm able to support you in all the ways that I can too. And just like, yeah. I mean, I'll always remember like sitting in the old van, taking PBRs, doing that.
Cracking them.
Yeah.
Cracking them. It's the flesh god.
Yeah, and if I remember right, that was your guys' second interview, right?
Yeah. It might have been our first. It was very early on.
Yeah.
And that interview, as a result, was very unprofessional and vulgar. You can check it out if you like.
Yes, it is on YouTube.
Yeah.
I did try to make a radio version of it, but for some reason my recording software was just telling me not even to bother, so I just put the YouTube version
I was
on.
telling you not to bother because there was no point in bothering. It was what it was, and it was beautiful.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun regardless, though, like this one was. Yeah. Well, I'll just wrap things up here again. It's just like a tremendous honor to be able to do this interview with you.
Likewise, Josh. Likewise.
Awesome. Now, while it's quiet, is there anything else that you'd like to bring up that I've not brought up yet?
9/11 was an inside job, and thank you for the support.
Agreed on both accounts.
Right on.
Once again, this has been Andy from Blackcurrant Initiate. And go check out the Wreckage of Stars, one of the best debut albums you will ever hear. And go check out Blackcurrant Initiate when they come to a city near you.
Let's drink beer.
See ya.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.